Welcome back to the Weekend Review. Former chairman of UDCOT, Calder Hart, has been told by a High Court judge that he must return to this country if he wants to challenge court proceedings brought against him by UDCOT.
3 months after legal proceedings were filed against him, former UDCOT chairman Calder Hart has failed to mount a legal challenge against claims that, among other things, he manipulated the bid for the Brian Lara Stadium and he acted improperly in the award of the contract for the construction of the Legal Affairs Towers. Legal documents were sent to his Miami home on the 20th of June, but to date, Mr. Hart has not filed a defense to the proceedings. UDCOT is seeking to recover $65 million and in addition $400 million in advance payments to Hafiz Karmat Limited. Instead, attorneys representing UDCOT say Mr. Hart has attempted to delay the proceedings against him by requesting full disclosure of all documents to prove that he has a defense in the matter and in addition 3 months to respond upon receipt of those documents. But on Thursday morning, High Court Judge Justice Devines ruled that there was no good reason why Mr. Hart should not file his defense and receive the documents after. CNC3 obtained a copy of the court documents filed by UDCOT, and among other things it states that Mr. Hart was in breach of his fiduciary duty as executive chairman, and as a result UDCOT is unsecured in respect of the advance payments made to Hafiz Karmat Limited with no or reasonable prospect of repayment and has therefore suffered loss and damage. Hafiz Karmat Limited has been paid roughly $531 million to date. It also noted that before invitations for tender for the Ministry of Legal Affairs Towers were issued, Sunway Construction Company Limited presented documents ahead of the tender. At a special sitting this morning, Justice Devine set November 12th as the deadline for Mr. Hart to file his defense and also rejected his application for an extension of time. If he fails to meet that deadline, UDCOT can demand that Mr. Hart pay the $65 million in damages. If Mr. Hart decides to file proceedings in defense of the claims against him, Justice Devine's ruled that he will be required to attend the hearing of the matter at the High Court. The former chairman has also been mandated to pay $16,500 for the cost of application. The matter has been adjourned to the 3rd of December.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has met face-to-face with Laventille residents and she has told them that she will never give up on the community.
The people of Laventille have been calling out for help for a very long time. And in an effort to provide some hope, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar met one-on-one with the residents on Wednesday. She arrived at John Laventille shortly before 3 p.m. and was greeted by some of her ministers, among them National Security Minister Jack Warner, Housing Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal, and the Minister of the People Glen Ramadar Singh. Residents gathered around the Prime Minister as she even shared a joke or two. She would also come bearing gifts, teacups with her image imprinted. Along the way, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar stopped to hear concerns from residents on how their lives can be improved. Soon, she would arrive in the troubled community of Beverly Hills. Speaking briefly with the people gathered in Beverly Hills, the Prime Minister assured that her government's tough-on-crime agenda would not let up.
But there's one thing I think we cannot disagree upon, and that is we must fight crime to the bitter end.
Meanwhile, Beverly Hills residents have been promised a number of social upgrades before Christmas this year. The promises come from National Security Minister Jack Warner.
Tears flowed in Beverly Hills on Tuesday night. The residents say they are feeling pain and agony and want an end to the crime and murders now. They listened to national security officials and then they had their say. Residents took turns pouring out their hearts on the effects the violence is having on their lives. This nursery owner told the officials that mothers in Laventille are hurting.
I went to the doctor today. You know what the doctor said? My pressure is 200.
Gang warfare broke out in Beverly Hills 2 weeks ago. 4 people were killed. This mother pleaded for an end to the war.
It's hard taking, it's burdening, it's stressful.
Local government councillor Aisha Wells grew up in Beverly Hills. She wants a return to the old-time days.
Only remember the holidays on Beverly Hills when we have we bag walk and we summer camp and we girls crew and we boys crew. Only remember those days?
Of course, yes.
So what happened to Beverly Hills?
And while this resident wants the attitude of the people to change, he is also appealing for the same from security officials.
If I want to tell the police who have a gun, but He first approached me, he said, hey, power stop right up there. He didn't find out one no gun from me.
At the end, it was all about maintaining peace in the community, and this young man believes the past must be put behind.
I lost a mother, and I'm willing to put that behind my back. And I hope that people think the same as us.
After hearing all the plight of the residents, National Security Minister Jack Warner promised several social upgrades, including improved lighting.
Beverly Hills shall get its home center. Beverly Hills shall get its play park. And I tell you, you'll get that before Christmas.
Villagers of Mont Lacroix and Blanchisseuse were left stranded for 24 hours as rains caused landslides that blocked parts of their road.
Earlier this year, the villagers of Mont Lacroix village at Blanchisseuse were cut off from the rest of the country after heavy rains caused the roadway to break. On Tuesday, villagers were faced with the same problem again. The first landslip was repaired and the road made passable, but residents say the work which was done has created more havoc in the community, as slush and debris over 2 feet high came down on another part of the roadway, blocking access to the village. Many children were unable to go to school and only trucks were able to pass.
What we had to do is we had to come up here and you had to actually tote your children across the road. So, and this morning none of the children, well as I could see, can't attend school because the maxi can't even pass here to take them to school.
Residents say the landslips occurred overnight. By Tuesday morning, cleanup crews from the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure were on the scene trying to make the roadway passable. Ms. Conte blames contractors for their problems.
The contractors where the road break away last year, where the road eroded, right, last year. Well, that is the cause because they took all the stuff, all the mud, all the dirt, everything, and they dump it into this guy's land right here, as you could see.
This pensioner complained about the lack of representation.
We have a councillor, we never seen. Area representative, disaster here, you don't come and find out what really going on in the area and things, and we suffering here.
Just after midday, work crews from the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure had cleared the Mont Lacroix roadway, making it passable once again.
This is the Weekend Review. A lot more when we return. Welcome back to the Weekend Review. Damage to the UTT campus in South Trinidad on Sunday as a freak storm passed through the area. The damage was put as high as $10 million.
This is where Sunday's violent weather struck hardest. Water soaked and damaged from the collapsing ceiling, millions of dollars worth of equipment destroyed.
Most of the equipment which are electronic in nature cannot be reused, but they will have to be replaced.
The force of the wind peeled away most of the roof, opening classrooms and labs to the mercy of torrential rains. 5 civil labs, a number of classrooms and offices all badly damaged. They cannot be used, at least not for another 2 weeks. Tertiary Education Minister Fazal Karim says all efforts will be made to minimize the inconvenience to the 1,500 students displaced.
As far as possible, we are going to try to move quickly to repair the damage that has been done. Our estimate so far from our engineer or advisor said that it will take approximately 2 weeks to get back up to the state of readiness for classes to take place.
A major street in the city of San Fernando had to be closed off to vehicular traffic on Monday as a portion of the road collapsed.
Scott Street in San Fernando has grown used to images like this. What started as a 6-inch hole early Monday morning quickly developed into a massive hollow, 15 feet deep, 4 feet wide in the middle of the roadway. It's the third time the road has collapsed in months. The cause is still unknown, but works officials who were on site say a nearby watercourse could be responsible.
It means that there's some water subsiding from the bridge and it's causing water to come into behind the bridge and it's not causing it to collapse. This is a similar situation like in Port of Spain, but this time we cannot say for sure what caused it.
San Fernando Mayor Navi Miradali said this collapse underscores the need for an assessment of roads in the city to prevent a recurrence.
We need to do an assessment of the roads in this country to see where there's, especially where there are sewer lines, how over the many years it has really caused the road to have problems.
Mayor Muradali says the San Fernando City Corporation will fix the hole, but no time frame has been given for completion. A release from the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure on Monday evening advised that the roadway will be closed until further notice.
Well, that's how we end this week's Week in Review. Join us again the same time next week for a look back at the week that was. I'm Samson Anton. Have a good evening.